Ronald McDonald House, New York, which has for generations, decades, been there for pediatric cancer patients and their families. And they're also forging some very unique partnerships to help them continue doing this very important work. I want you to meet Drs. Ruth Brown and Dr. Randy Wasserman. First of all, good morning, Dr. Brown, friend of the show. Dr. Wasserman, soon to be a new friend of the show. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. For those who may be unfamiliar with Ronald McDonald House, New York, tell us a quick history about it.
So Ronald McDonald House, New York, provides a temporary home away from home for children and families battling cancer and other pediatric illness. And the great news is that we serve families coming from all over the world, all over the country, and now families in New York City who can benefit from the services. So we're excited to be represented in all 5 boroughs and excited to be partnering with so many great hospitals.
We know that families are under tremendous pressure when they're dealing with pediatric illness and any illness in general, but specifically when you're talking about kids. Can you just share with us just some of the stories, because you all are providing something that most people tend to even think like, wait, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And then boom, Ronald McDonald House, New York is just right there to say, we got you.
We definitely got you. So when you think about a family who hears, a devastating diagnosis and really is just scrambling to figure out what their resources will be, think about those resources. It's who's going to take care of other siblings? How do I attend to the care of my child when I have to work? I'm taking care of other siblings. I might not speak the language. When you think about all of those things that come together, I don't know how I'm going to even get the transportation to take me where I need to go to care for my child. And then while I'm taking care of my child, what is the rest of the family going to do? And so when you think about the combination of all of those things, what we try to do is really create a sense of normalcy. And all of those things represent the social risks that have to be attended to when you think about health. And so Ronald McDonald House really prides itself on supporting the programs that address those social risks.
We want to talk also about your partnerships, which continue to expand and grow. And we know you're particularly proud of this one that you're about to share with us, your partnership with New York City Healthcare Systems. Tell us about that.
So we are so excited about adding the Elmhurst Hospital to the family of hospitals that we work with. And our hospital partners not only refer families to us once they've identified need, but also work with us to make sure that these families can attend to the healthcare needs. Everything else, Ronald McDonald House and its partners got. And so our partnership with Elmhurst Hospital is terrific because we are now represented in Queens community, serving children and families at Elmhurst Hospital through a newly established family room. And if you think about a family room, it is a respite room for families who have a child who is inpatient at the hospital. And so if you think about the beeping that you hear all day, taking a break from that, being able to get a snack, talking to our volunteers in some of our family rooms, we have activities that can take place. Just that respite for families represents so much for them in a really, really stressful day.
I want to bring in Dr. Randy Wasserman now. Dr. Wasserman, when you found out or made aware of this relationship with Elmhurst and with Ronald McDonald House, New York, what was your personal reaction to it?
Well, I have to tell you that I came to Elmhurst about 9 years ago in 2012. And I always knew about the Ronald McDonald House because I did all of my pediatric training, medical school and training in the city. And so always knew about the resources that the Ronald McDonald House offered to our families. But I didn't know about this aspect. And I actually got invited to Kings County to do a grand rounds. And they took me on a tour, my colleagues there, and they were so excited to show me their new family room. And I was like, this is like incredible. How do you have this and we don't? And it was the first time that I learned that the Ronald McDonald House and charities were interested in expanding and creating this kind of respite within a hospital setting, which was so brilliant. So I came back to Elmhurst and started talking. And I think at the same time, the Ronald McDonald charities, you guys started reaching out. And there was this energy that got created. And we started working together and getting the commitment to give up space in the the hospital was, I think, the first huge barrier. And once we got the commitment from the hospital to give this space to Ronald McDonald to create a family room, that just started our incredible relationship and partnership, which has just been so rewarding over the past 3 or 4 years.
Dr. Wasserman, you just touched on something so many people may even take for granted. It's just a family room. It's a respite. Dr. Brown mentioned the beeps and things like that. Can you just elaborate on the importance of just a minute to just step away, whether it's to pray, whether it's to breathe? Can you just elaborate on what that respite, what that room means to people?
We have a very busy neonatal intensive care unit in our hospital with very critically ill tiny babies. And we practice family-centered care. So we encourage our parents and families to be at their baby's bedside as much as possible. And as Dr. Brown alluded, those are really critical times. And so the parents feel so powerless and so vulnerable and completely overwhelmed by not understanding what's happening, by seeing their baby sick. And we also have a busy inpatient unit where parents are kind of expected to be with their children all the time, even 24/7. So having this beautiful, calm place where a family can go to get a cup of coffee, to just sit in quiet, to have somebody put friendly hand on their shoulder and say, you'll get through this, we'll help you get through this together, to normalize the whole experience around being in a hospital setting with your sick child, I think is going to do incredibly great things for our families.
Dr. Ruth Brown, what is the website for anyone looking for more information?
Our website is rmh-newyork.org, and we look forward to your participation in volunteering or in donating.
Dr. Brown, Dr. Randy Wasserman, from the bottom of all of our hearts here at Fox 5, you all are on the front lines. You all are our heroes, our emergency workers. Thank you so much for keeping us safe, particularly there at Elmhurst, because you were ground zero, barely 2 years ago. So, no, just thank you so much from all of us here. Stay safe. We will be checking in with you again. Thank you for taking care of our kids and our families, and our best to you always. Please stay safe.